Hello everyone, bringing you a video today looking at this. Now this is a Reproduction British 24-hour ration pack from the Second World War era. Talked about these in some detail on the channel previously. My friend Ramsey Green has done quite a lot of research into this and obviously made a reproduction of certain items for us to try, and that's been covered elsewhere on the channel, as well as talking about the ration and its predecessor, the mess tin ration, in some detail. This is a new reproduction which is available from Living History UK, and certainly from what I've seen of photographs, it looks a lot better than other proprietary reproductions of this which have been available on the market, which have used tinned products and various other things, which is just totally incorrect. The 24-hour ration did not contain tinned products at this point in its history. Obviously later 24-hour ration packs would be somewhat different, but this is the Second World War issue British 24-hour ration, or this is a reproduction of it. Living History UK have sent this to me with the intention that I'll review it. So the caveat there at the start, this has been sent to me free of charge for me to have a look at and review. So we're going to have a look at these in the video in a bit more detail. In this first part, there'll probably be two parts to this. In the first part, I'll open this up and we'll have a look at the contents, and we'll have a look at the box in a bit more detail as well. Without further ado, we'll get into the main part of the video now and have a look at this in a bit more detail. We'll have a look at the outside of the box to start with. You can see it has this waxed finish to it, which is correct. It's a cardboard box with this waxed finish, which gives it a sort of dark brown appearance. 24-hour ration with obviously instructions within noted beneath that. And we do actually have a manufacturer on the rear of the box here as well. You can see that there. So nice work on the external details there. As I say, this is how the original 24-hour ration was prepared in a cardboard box with a wax finish. So secured with a band of tape around the side here, which is exactly as the originals were delivered. So we'll remove this here so we can have a look at the internals. I mentioned Ramsey Green in relation to obviously the previous videos we've made on the channel covering this. Ramsey did a lot of primary resource research into these, and I believe he has helped Steve Davis at Living History UK in producing the reproduction. So it's certainly, I have high hopes for this, so that we'll open this up and have a look what we have inside. Okay, so we have the paperwork on the top here to start with. Obviously we've got the instructions for use, the suggested menu, the way the order in which you're supposed to eat the contents, or a suggested order in which you can eat the contents, and then details on preparation. Now we'll look at this in more detail in part 2 when I come to actually prepare some of the items in here. We do have toilet paper there as well, having actually handled some original toilet paper from a 24-hour ration in the collection of the Airborne Assault Museum. Rather strange thing to find in the archives, but this appears to be the right sort of consistency, the right sort of toilet paper. So got that there, and then we have a selection of boiled sweets tucked in on the top here, as you can see. So we'll remove those first of all. And these did come in different varieties, so barley sugars were a common one. Obviously these are boiled sweets, presumably lemon and lime flavoured. Plenty of sugar in this ration. Obviously the intention of the ration is to keep men going for a relatively short period of time. These rations weren't intended for prolonged use in the field. They're intended to provide an immediate ration to assault troops prior to centralised cooking becoming available, compo and then centralised cooking. So you survived maybe a couple of days on these, then compo would be brought up, which is tinned rations, and then the intention is after that point is to get men back onto properly prepared food. Tucked in there, I think we have one last one hiding away in there. So we have the selection of boiled sweets there in their plastic wrappers, which is correct, and then we have the primary heavy carb portion of the ration, which we'll get out here, which is army biscuit. And this is all very neatly packed in, as you can see. I'll just move the sugar out of the way briefly here. Get the biscuit out at the top here. Lay those all out at the top there, roughly even piles. So we have the biscuit portion of the ration there. You can see this is a wax finish. You can actually see on the inside of the box here, we have evidence of the wax finish coming through the cardboard there, which is the correct way that this should be the box should be prepared. And you can see here the sugar cubes which come to further sweeten the ration, and as we talk about this, there is a lot of sugar in this ration along with the sweets. This is looking fantastic so far, I have to say. Oatmeal block, and you can see here the blue printing on the wrapper there, the outer wrapper, which is correct. using a dark blue printing there, and the typeface and everything looks very, very good. The packaging of these various items seems to be spot on as far as I can see. Salt, and then you have compressed tea. So you have 2 oatmeal blocks there. These can be eaten as they are or made into a porridge. Obviously salt for further seasoning. Tea, this is 4 compressed tea cubes in there, and we'll be looking at all of these and how to prepare them in part 2 of this video. Meat block, there are no tin components in the ration. As already mentioned, the ration is entirely made of obviously preserved and dehydrated elements, so the oatmeal block and things like that. The meat block is perhaps the best example of this, as it's a dehydrated block of meat, which can be eaten as is with plenty of water to drink, or can be made into a broth or a soup almost, which has been covered in a previous video. It'll be interesting to have a go with this one and see where we get to with it. We then have 2, I think, packets of chewing gum. They should be in here. Yep, 2 little packets of chewing gum, which are wrapped in cling film there. Not entirely accurate in terms of the way they're wrapped, but again, this is a reproduction. They would originally have been wrapped in cellophane. Just a compromise with making a reproduction ration of this nature. I have to say, from what I'm seeing so far, this is streets ahead of anything that's been prepared or produced before. It really does look fantastic. And as I say, the fact the contents are edible is very, very good. You could take one of these with you on an event and then obviously consume the contents and cook them and prepare them as they would have been back in the as assault troops did in Normandy in 1944. 4 basically OXO cubes there, stock cubes for making a beef drink, that sort of thing, obviously with hot water. And then we have 3 bars of chocolate here, wrapped in greaseproof paper. I'll put those in at the top there, above the sweets. And according to the ration specification, 1 of these should be plain chocolate and 2 of them should be raisin, if I remember correctly. I'll just check on the leaflet here, make sure yes, that's correct. Yeah, 2 slabs of raisin chocolate, 1 slab plain chocolate. So that's the contents of the ration, obviously, including the leaflet and the toilet paper there as well, all within a very accurate box from what I can tell. It's certainly the right sort of dimensions. I haven't got the dimensions to hand. I'll probably cover that in part 2, just double check that the box is the right shape and size. But certainly, from what I can see here, the contents are very nicely reproduced, and I believe these are all edible. So we're going to have a look at these, as I say, in part 2, actually prepare some of them. It'll be interesting having a go with the meat block in particular to see how that tastes and so forth compared to the one I tried, which Ramsey had made. And obviously we'll have a try of some of the chocolate and so forth as well. Overall impression, very impressed with this. The printing and everything looks brilliant on the packaged items. And overall, I'm very, very impressed with this. I'm very much looking forward to having a go at preparing some of these bits and pieces. As I say, I probably won't bother trying the sweets and stuff. They are just boiled sweets, but we will certainly have a go at making some of the tea, the meat block, and the porridge you can make from the oatmeal as well. And probably try one of the biscuits. I'm interested in exactly what they taste like, so I'll be interested to try some of those, and probably the chocolate as well. So keep an eye out for part 2 to have a look at that. So there we are. I hope that's been of use, having a look at this and sort of provided you with an overview of exactly what you get when you buy one of these, and obviously talking about it and my impressions of it. Hopefully that's been informative. If you've enjoyed this and you'd like to see more of this sort of thing, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And whether you're newly subscribing or you've previously subscribed, please do make sure you hit the little bell, the notification button down below. That will of course alert you when I upload future videos. If you really like my uploads and you would like to support the channel, you can. Both Patreon and PayPal are linked down below. And as ever, a massive thank you to everybody who supports the channel using those 2 methods. It's greatly appreciated, as I always say. If you'd like to follow the channel on social media, you can. Facebook, Instagram and Twitter are all linked down below. And if you'd like to get in touch but you don't really use social media, there is of course an email address down there as well. But that's everything for this video. So until next time, bye for now.